America's most famous diversity hire, Kamala Harris, makes her way to The View, which means I have to do this. They end up destroying her just in the questions they ask about what are you going to do about your campaign? You're going to lose. It is shock and horror on The View hosts as they hear her repeat her plan. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TenNapel. This is where the happy patriots are. Let's go.
President Kamala Harris is incredibly busy helping to run the country as well as run a re-election campaign.
Doing a great job, Kamala, being so busy. She was the border czar. They had her sick on the border and she's visited it once and no sign of her since. So how's her job doing? She's so busy.
What's up? Good to see you.
It's good to see all of you.
As you've been going around the country, you're talking to people.
I thought she could be talking to animals or maybe a fence.
And what are they telling you they want from the two of you?
The honest answer is they want them both to get out of the race and have some other Democrat come in and run.
What they are telling me in state after state is that they are concerned about the future of our country.
That in and of itself that's a self-own, because they're not just concerned about the future of the country. They're concerned about the present. Today, they're terrified because of you.
Many of us often think about the future of our country in the context of our children.
Now, we already know what Kamala wants to do with your unborn children. Here it comes.
And so they talk about their concern that if their daughter is going to college, will she go to a state where she will have access to the health care she might need, including reproductive health?
Is that the number one thing on the mind of people right now? Really? Everyone here? They're concerned that when they send their daughter to college, that she can get rid of their granddaughter?
The prayer that many will speak and say as they drop their children off at school because of their fear that there may be somebody with an assault weapon at some time during that school day. They talk about the concern that they have about whether their children, if they go to college, will be able to pay off their student loan debt.
Okay, maybe they'd be able to pay off the debt if they could afford to buy food and gas.
And they then thank our administration for some of the work we've been doing.
Oh, I'll bet you get a lot of thanks for that work you're doing. You know who else thanks you is Israel and Ukraine and Taiwan.
Attacks on Trump are not moving the needle. In fact, 91 indictments are not moving the needle. Voters want to hear about issues affecting their lives, like the economy and the border. Should the campaign be pivoting on its messaging?
So economy and border, you tell me if she answers either of those.
One of the first issues that anyone will think of is the issue they think of when they're at their kitchen table trying to pay their bills, which is how is the economy treating them? So there's no question whatsoever that that is an important issue, which we have been in the process of addressing, and we still need to do more.
So that's a punt on the economy.
I would not separate that from the issue of what is at stake in terms of hard democracy. And frankly, I think most people don't think of it in the context of democracy as much as freedom. The freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body.
And we're back on abortion.
The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. The freedom.
So your southern border is wide open and people are thinking about same-sex marriage. Thanks, Kamala.
The freedom to be able to be free from gun violence. These are fundamental freedoms that are at stake right now.
They'd be more free from gun violence if you didn't fire all the cops.
These are fundamental freedoms that are at stake right now. The freedom to have access to the ballot.
Access to the ballot. She probably doesn't mean Trump having access to having his name on the ballot.
I travel our country and I have been in states that have banned access to reproductive freedom.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how you're going to go after the other side. Sure. Because some heavy-hitting Democrats are sounding the alarm behind closed doors. President Obama reportedly has said that he thinks the Biden campaign is too complacent when it comes to Trump.
Joy asks about what she's going to do to go after the other side, but then brings up that it's their own side, the Obamas, that are coming in and criticize him. So how are you even going to deal with criticisms from your own side?
Representative Jim Clyburn has said the campaign isn't breaking through the MAGA wall.
Ouch, poor Kamala. I'm starting to feel sorry for her. Joy, let up, the poor kid.
Michelle Obama says she's terrified, as we are, about the potential outcome of the election.
So this is Kamala at a table full of people who are going to vote for her, and they're all scared stiff.
Now, are you scared, first of all, what could happen if Trump ever became, God forbid, president again? And what are you going to do to stop the crazies?
If she's afraid of the crazies, that's what they call the right half of America. She's afraid of 50% of America that they call deplorable. Joy Behar just called us the crazies. They're afraid of that.
I am scared as heck.
That is a serious non-leadership move on Kamala's part. And she's terrified because she knows whatever they're doing, they're losing.
In the last 2 weeks, I've been to Georgia, I've been to Nevada, I've been to North Carolina, I've been to South Carolina twice.
She's got to visit all those states because they're going to lose them. They're telling you their whole plan. They're afraid of losing Nevada. These are states that they got in the last election. They have to go back and try and win them over again.
And we have to communicate what we have achieved.
Yes.
And that is going to be one of our big challenges.
Big challenge. It's very hard to communicate what you've achieved when you've achieved nothing. That's why it's a big challenge.
We've done a lot of good work. We need to let people know who brung it to them.
Oh, yeah. Trump's got this one secured, guys. If they're letting them know who did this.
So much for being
Thank
here.
you. I'm glad to be with you.
Off of that, Donald Trump is facing 91 felony counts across 4 different indictments for a variety of crimes. Yet ABC's latest poll has President Biden's approval rating at 33%, behind Donald Trump's.
Ouch. Let her up. This is so mean.
In head-to-head matchups in a number of battleground states, Donald Trump edges you and President Biden out. What does it say that the party is struggling to compete with an unfit man who is very likely going to jail?
This is the greatest The View ever. It is a huge. Trump ought to watch this episode. It'll encourage him.
And I do believe that the American people are going to vote in favor of what is in the best interest of the future of our country, and in particular, our children.
Yes, we are. I'm Doug in Exile.